Founded in 1845 by Baptist leaders demonstrating vision and excellence in their professions, Baylor produces graduates who excel in the fields to which they've been called. The Medal of Service for Contributions to the Professions honors those among the Baylor family who have positively impacted the world and Baylor University through work in their chosen vocations. As a teenager working in the pathology department at Temple's Scott and White Hospital in the late 1960s, little did Bob Pryor know that one day he would grow up to become its president. Driven by the goal of getting into medical school, Bob began his journey at Baylor in 1970, where he hit the books hard, studying late and often up at the crack of dawn. He recalls many a morning watching the sun rise over the Carroll Science Building while headed to class, and drawing inspiration from professors like Robert Packard, whose influence he would cherish for years to come. Following med school, Bob went on to become one of the first certified pediatric intensivists in the country, helping set the early standards for pediatric intensive care in America. After more than 3 decades in teaching, research, administration, and in caring for critically ill children, Bob answered a call to come home, back to the very hospital where he began his medical journey 35 years prior, this time as Chief Medical Officer. Here he would go on to lead the largest not-for-profit healthcare system in Texas, as President and COO of the newly merged Baylor Scott and White Health, a physician-led healthcare organization with over 40 hospitals, 6,000 affiliated physicians, and more than 34,000 employees. Looking back on his award-winning career, Bob credits Baylor with shaping his view of servant leadership and of giving back. It's why in 2010, he and his wife Kay established the Robert W. and Kay Pryor Endowed Scholarship Fund to help the next generation of Baylor leaders find their path and begin their incredible journey. A journey, like Bob's, that might one day bring them home. In elementary school, John Lee Hancock wrote a short story, Every Day. Even then, the young man who grew up in Texas City loved bringing stories to life and sharing them with the world. The son of a high school coach, John Lee played football, swam, and continued to write. At Baylor, he majored in English and honed his craft writing for the Phoenix. It was here he learned a lesson that would guide him for the rest of his life: to find inspiration in what you love to do. Not knowing how to translate his love of prose into a viable career, John Lee went on to graduate from Baylor Law School. But while practicing law in Houston, he kept writing and eventually was inspired to move to Hollywood to pursue his true calling. In 1991, a screenplay he wrote caught the eye of Clint Eastwood, who brought John Lee's script to the screen. Over the next several years, John Lee Hancock would pen some of Hollywood's most memorable stories and go on to become a successful director. His inspirational movie, The Rookie, won an ESPY for the Best Sports Movie in 2002. His Saving Mr. Banks was named a Movie of the Year by the American Film Institute. And The Blind Side, another inspirational story drawn from his football roots, earned a Best Picture nomination at the Academy Awards. Along the way, John Lee has become a mentor, sounding board, and role model for a whole new generation of aspiring writers, producers, directors from Baylor University to follow in his footsteps, which may be the greatest story of them all, that the young man from Baylor, who brought the world so many inspirational stories, would one day inspire a whole new generation of storytellers with his own. Please join us in welcoming Dr. Bob Pryor and John Lee Hancock to the stage.